Hey, good morning, fellas. I am down on Red Road. It's August 21st. It's about 4:49 in the morning. I got some messages from my stepbrother. His name is Brad, Bradkittel, Kittel. He likes to pronounce it Kittel. Trying to correct the record of when we were young and happened to be around each other. The only thing we ever had in common was his father, my stepfather. Now, George Kittel is dead. He was a Vietnam veteran. He ended up with the Bronze Star, was wounded in Vietnam. So, to hear my 70-year-old stepbrother, Brad, talk about him, Brad seems to forget so many things about what a fucking scumbag chomo he is. And that's you, Brad. And let's be honest, Brad, I'm not that little itty-bitty teenage boy anymore. In fact, Brad said that my nose, you see my nose? And my skin around my face, my nose has been broken a few times. Brad responded to me on YouTube to let me know that I look like W.C. Fields, who is a black and white actor, who was kind of a physical comedian. Means he would do trap balls and that, but he had a big nose from drinking alcohol. Called me an alcoholic, told me I was misremembering what happened when I was a young man. So I'll tell you a couple of stories about Brad Kittel, because Brad Kittel is an actual scumbag. I mean, a seriously scumbag. And if we were in jail, he'd be called a chomo. So anyways, my stepfather, George, had a daughter by the name of Kathy. She was getting married and wanted her father to walk her down the aisle. Okay? So they fly all of us down. He flies us all of us down there to be with her. But my mother, Lee Ona Wolford, was her name. And she was such a fucking raging bitch that she ended up preventing my stepfather from going and being with his daughter to walk her down the aisle, which had to be heartbreaking for Kathy. But it didn't matter. That's just the way my biological mother was. She's staying with my sister, Michelle, up in Alaska. But I've already talked about that sad story, so let's get back to Brad. So, because my stepfather was a cheap bastard, we stayed, instead of a hotel, we stayed at Brad Kittel's residence. At that time, he was married to a girl, black-haired girl. She was a teller at a bank, and Brad was trying to figure out how he could borrow the money from the bank, go gamble on it, take the profit, and put the money back. Other thing he used to do, just to be a fucking prick, is he had a, the windshield wipers, there's a thing that shoots the fluid onto your screen. He had one of those hooked up to his motorcycle. And when he was at a stoplight, he would squirt people's windshield or the front of their car with bong water. Brad also got kicked out of the military for smoking dope. He's just a fucking piece of shit. Now, his channel on YouTube is Tiny Texas Homes. On that channel, he will have you believe that he is a messiah. He knows everything, but he's a fucking loser. And here's the deal. And I'm gonna probably stop. I'm getting all animated. Listen, I have disabilities from the military. I do have PTSD, and it's due to combat. Why my nose is big and why my skin's jacked up is when I got blown up in the Middle East, they had to do something. It's called debridement. When I got blown up, the face shield on the bomb suit flopped off, and I got lots of little rocks and sand and pieces of plastic and glass caught in my face. So they had to pick them out one by one, and those leave scars, which is called debridement. I've had my nose broken probably 6 times. So that's why I have, I guess, according to Brad, I have, what is it called? Alcoholic's nose. So fuck you, Brad. The difference is now I'm in great shape. 60, I'll be 60 in a few days. He's 70. I can't tell you. And you know, I got it broke boxing. I got it broke Muay Thai. I got it broke jiu-jitsu. You know, there's a lot of things. It's called a neck crank. When they, it just fucking matter. But here's one of the crazy things. So we're down there staying in his house, and his wife comes in. And back then, I don't know if you remember those cameras. You press the button and it takes a picture, and then it pushes the Polaroid out from the bottom. They had several pictures of him and her naked, completely naked. And mind you, I'm maybe, I think, 10 or 11 at the time. And he sends her into the room to ask me about those pictures. And I did see those pictures. There was a shoebox full of them, and I went through them. And she was asking me some very, very inappropriate questions. And he did the same thing. So on top of that, in about 1981, he was living in a bus, a converted bus with a bunch of fucking cats. And I think the transmission took a shit. So now he needed his daddy again. You know, his daddy's been rescuing him his whole fucking life because he's a fucking scumbag. So I'm just on my way to Bear Ridge. Anyways. So he ends up staying with us. And at that time, we lived off of, we lived in a place called Graham, Washington, which is just outside of Fort Lewis Army post. So anyways, so he came there to stay with us, and he and my sister used to lock themselves in her room and have sex. Never mind she was underage. Never mind she was underage. Isn't that right, Brad? You don't want to remember that, do you, Brad? Huh? Yeah. All I can tell you is that man is a fucking bane. And I'm not that little boy anymore. And if you keep talking shit, maybe, just maybe, you'll have to deal with some unforeseen circumstances. There's too many guys out here that misremember. The guy's just I just can't even fucking I remember I was outside playing. We were just outside of a base, Fort Sill in Oklahoma. And again, Brad, because he was a loser and out of control and couldn't be controlled, his mother sent him to stay with us, which was great for me. I mean, to have a kid 10 years older than me pushing me around, being an absolute fucking dick to me every fucking chance he got. But I'm not that little guy anymore. So let us move on. So I come back in from playing, and my stepfather, George, is sitting at the little island, and Brad's sitting across from him, and my stepfather is crying. I have never in my life seen that man cry. And what Brad told him to his face is that he didn't love him. He didn't love him anymore. He didn't want to be around him anymore. He wanted to go back and stay with his wife. That's who Brad Kittel is. Not Kittel, it's Kittel. Fucking prick. So, let's just agree to disagree, Brad. You fucking punk. Let's just agree to disagree. Let's pray we don't run into each other. Alright, you stay in your little kingdom of trash, and I'll stay out here in the real world. You don't know me. I know you. I know some of your secrets. I know the lies you tell yourself and everybody else. Man, what a fucking scumbag. In my belief system, he is a pervert, a chomo, and a fucking scumbag. So, let's just hope we don't have to meet. But I guarantee you something, Brad. Unlike you, I'm not fucking hard to find. Okay? Leave it at that. You stay on your side of the world. I'll stay on my side of the world. You know, the place where we have money. You know, I can buy whatever I want. Fucking scumbag. Alright. Alright, guys. Sorry about that. Just some more family drama. And there's a fucking reason. I didn't go out of my way to spend $15,000 to go and visit my sister in Alaska. It took me 2 fucking phone calls to find her. It'd be terribly easy. I am very good at finding people. And, you know, I think to myself, this motherfucker never looked for me. She never looked for me. Fuck them. They didn't help me with anything. So, is what it is. I just needed to get that off my chest. It may sound ridiculous to you guys, but it is what it is. And again, tiny Texas homes, Brad Kittel, because, you know, Kittel sounds like little, and little's a small word. Wow! You fucking moron. All right, here I am. Point. This is Bear Ridge. This is my ceremonial touch of the crosswalk sign. Love you guys. Stay safe and healthy. Take care of each other if you can, and if you can't, take care of yourselves. I'm trying not to posture or say something stupid anymore. Like a fart in a G-string from West Texas, El Paso. I'm out of here. Bye-bye.